Thanks to the support as a channel member, Martin Cooper. Oh, it's the January transfer window and we have a lot of players who wanted to leave. A lot of them have already left. We have a very small squad and we've just taken our first proper thumping of the season. We are still in the Champions League qualification spots, but the rest of this transfer window needs to go well, or we might start slipping down the table. Hello and welcome to Club 2, part 26 of Non-Need to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have Premier League games away from home against both Liverpool and Everton. If we weren't already so close by, I'd suggest we could stay there, but I imagine they're both relatively easily travelable from Preston. Since you were last with me, this is what has gone on. Obviously, we had the games in the last episode against Manchester City and Liverpool. We did end up playing them both again. Actually, no, we played Manchester City again and beat them. We play Liverpool again today. But we did beat Manchester City, which was a fantastic result. As you can see, we are maxing out our home attendance every match now. So hopefully that's something that the board are going to look to address in the near future. But we did have a narrow defeat against Newcastle before we got absolutely battered by Chelsea on New Year's Day. The result doesn't necessarily tell the entire story because Ramsey did get sent off 18 minutes in, and once we were down to 10 men, it all started to go wrong. We did manage to knock Millwall out of the FA Cup after a couple of very late goals. Adam Ida's final goal for the club because he has now moved on as part of this transfer window, and again, late goals rescuing the points against Southampton in the most recent game, which means this is the situation. 24 games gone. We are still just about clinging on to that fourth Champions League qualification spot. But Tottenham, Arsenal, Aston Villa, all breathing down our necks. Obviously, Newcastle and Chelsea have both beaten us recently as well. And like I say, this transfer window needs to go to plan because the plan has already started, and it started with a number of players moving on from the club. Firstly, there was a bunch of the youngsters who weren't getting game time who wanted to go out on loan, so they have. Ezequiel Carrasco has gone to Osasuna for the rest of the season on loan. Jonathan Tamang has gone to Celtic on loan for the rest of the season. And David Braddock has gone to AZ Alkmaar for the rest of the season on loan. All of them having their wages paid in full. That's 3 young players now out of the mix. In addition to that, we've sold 3 of the more established players who were fed up of not getting any game time and wanting to leave permanently. So Finley Burns has gone to Wolfsburg for £12 million, which I think is a pretty decent deal for a player we signed on a free transfer. We repeat that a few more times. Fode Ballo-Touré, we also signed on a free transfer when we first got to the Premier League. Used him for 18 months, and we've now sold him at 32 years old to Fenerbahce for £7.5 million. And also Adam Ida, this one stung a little bit. £3.5 million he's gone to Shakhtar for. Of course, he did come in on that free transfer before I arrived. We've had 2.5 very good seasons out of him, but for the last year, second half of last season, he just fell off completely, and then we haven't used him at all this season, apart from that one FA Cup game where he came off the bench and did score a late goal for us as part of his final contribution to the cause. So those players leaving means we do have a little bit of flexibility in terms of spensies now for the rest of the month. We're about halfway through the window. We've got £15 million in our transfer budget, but we also have a spare £250,000 a week in the wage budget. So actually we could shuffle this around a little bit and spend 20 to 30 million pounds, which of course, when you then start using the never, never as well, means we could spend anywhere up to like 40 or 50 million pounds this month if we found the right players. I think we probably need 2 or 3 players. 6 have gone out. We're now down to a squad of just 21 players. So we probably need at least 2 or 3 new faces in, probably throughout the team. We've lost quite a mix of positions there. There's been a defensive midfielder, a couple of strikers, a left back, a centre back, and a central midfielder have all moved on. So depth has gone from a lot of the team. So I think we probably need a defender, a midfielder, and a striker, in addition to the left back / left winger Roberto Rojas. Rojas, no idea, who has already joined us. And of course, I've already started playing him at left back. Why wouldn't I? You all knew I was going to play this guy on 5 tackling at left back, because the only thing a left back needs to be able to do is cross the ball and create chances for us. And that's definitely what this guy is going to be able to do. I love a nice attacking fullback. So that's the plan. Like I say, we're only halfway through it. We've generated the money that we need to spend now, but we haven't yet spent it. So we are down to the bare bones for this match against Liverpool. In fact, we can't even put out a full bench because of suspensions to Oscar and Ramsey as two of probably our two starting fullbacks normally. So there needs to be some transfer business. Whether we'll do any of that today or whether you'll see it in the next episode, I'm not entirely sure just yet. But this team for the game away against Liverpool, which we're going to lose. I don't see how there's any way around it. We're going to lose. But we've got Blanco in goal, a back four of Rojas, Frangolo, De Klerk and Walters. Juan at the base of the midfield, Rafa and White ahead of him. Antas on the left, Ross on the right, and then Reyes up front. Let's get this team submitted and see what we can do against Liverpool. Last time we played them at our place, about 2 months ago now in the previous episode, we found it fairly tough going, but did manage to salvage a point against them with a late equaliser. So I am hoping we've got that in us again today, but having to use our backup fullbacks and not really having much to throw on from the bench if things don't go our way. It's not the ideal time to come to Anfield when you're in the middle of a mid-season rebuild project. And I know what you're thinking. I can sense the comment section. Kev, you were third in the Premier League. Why are you doing a mid-season rebuild? Because dynamics are important. And if we hadn't have shifted those players on, then it would have caused more problems than having a smaller squad, I think. In my experience, we had 6 players who didn't want to be here. 3 wanted to leave permanently. 3 just wanted game time. None of them were going to play regularly for us. They were all fringe players or backup players. So we had to move them on for the good of squad harmony and happiness and morale. But like I say, it has left us a little bit light in situations like this one. That being said, Liverpool are playing Fabinho at centre-back. So there's always an opportunity when, I mean, we're 6 years in the future now? And not only is Fabinho still at Liverpool, still starting Premier League games, he's now a centre-back apparently, which is very interesting. Right, Rojas clears it, but only as far as Jude Bellingham, who plays it back into Diaz, and the shot is wayward. And if you are listening to this on your car radio whilst driving and you've not been watching what's going on, we are 1-0 down, by the way. We conceded a goal fairly early on. I was talking about something else and figured, most of you can see what we've done. So I called back and referenced it eventually, but Liverpool have now got a corner. It's going to be Vitinha to look to in-swing that, but Juan heads clear, but only as far as Vitinha again. And then it's a very clumsy tackle from Raul Walters. There's chaos in the penalty area, and Frangolo hacks it clear to Reyes, who actually does some quite decent centre-forward hold-up play. And the highlight did end, but then immediately restarted with another Liverpool corner, and this time Upamecano gets on the end of it and does what we've seen De Klerk do so many times for us this season and just absolutely thunders it past Blanco at that near post. It's 2-0 to Liverpool just before half-time. I mentioned we'd just had our first thumping of the season against Chelsea. I worry we might be taking our second thumping of the season right now. And I'm also looking at that replay and Blanco getting his hand to that. I'm wondering if maybe Blanco could have been expected to do a little bit better with that header from Upamecano, but it's another corner now from Liverpool. They are causing us major problems from these set pieces. Once again, it's a little bit chaotic and we managed to hack it clear. They seem to have left Mo Salah back because he's the guy who retrieves our clearance. And now they're looking to rebuild again through Trent Alexander-Arnold on the right-hand side. And he's going to have fun. Him and Salah against Rojas on that right. Rojas? It's got to be Rojas, surely. I would imagine the two of them are going to have quite fun against a inexperienced Colombian left winger who we're playing out of position and he can't tackle. So there's potential that some poor decision making has gone in today. But in my defence, we've sold Ballo-Touré. The only other left back we've got is Oscar. He's suspended. So our only other option was to play Valenti at left back, who just doesn't do any of the wing back stuff that we need. So it made sense to me at the time. He will be a left back for us eventually as well. Russell Ross has now picked up a knock, which is not ideal. Stevanovic has come on for him. And we're going to offer a little bit... wrong button. We're going to offer a little bit of encouragement here. Just to try and motivate the boys into creating anything. There's Rojas with a cross. See, that's what he's there for. Lovely cross. No one on the end of it, but we're not going to blame him. It was the cross was lovely. It was the centre-forward play that was all wrong. And now Juan, who just takes too long to receive the ball there, and Darwin Núñez has taken it off him. And now Elliott is free for Liverpool, charging at our defenders, and it's very poor. No end product from Elliott there. And he does blast it over the top of the crossbar. Liverpool have now brought Kanate on in midfield, Oh, they've not let. I thought Fabinho's now gone to right back. I thought they were still playing Fabinho at centre back with Konate in midfield, but no, they're doing. I don't even know what they're up to. This Liverpool are just doing things. They're trying things because why not? We're going to take off a few of our players. We'll leave one substitution available to us for the final 10 minutes in case of injury or anything along those lines. It doesn't look like there is an injury, so let's make our final change. And I guess Rojas can now come off. He's done his work for the day. Valente can do the last 10 minutes playing for us at left back. I don't think we're getting back into this one, but to be honest, coming here and only losing 2-0, I'll take that. Liverpool are the best team in the Premier League. They're well clear at the top of the table, and we managed to get a point at our place against them. I mean, that's immediately better defensively from Valente there. Lovely full-back work from him, even though he's a centre-back. And now Rafa in midfield plays it all to Stevanovic. Wilson out to Stevanovic again. This is a decent move from us. If we can get a couple more men forward. Stevanovic, though, it was like he didn't really know what to do. He just played it into the Liverpool defender. And now Liverpool have got a counter-attack going. And Jovic is miles forward. He's made it back now. But we just left so much space in behind us there because of Stevanovic and his indecision. We've got 4 centre-backs on the pitch at the moment. That's not ideal. A 2-0 defeat, we'll take it. We're going to hang out on Merseyside now for a week. No point going all the way back to Preston. Everton should be, you would think, a more comfortable day out. And in the meantime, I've got 7 days to try and identify a player or two to bring in with this newfound Spenzies that we've got. So a few changes for the Everton game then. We've got both of those fullbacks back, so Oscar and Ramsey come straight back into the team. We've also got Scott coming in central midfield with Rafa dropping down to the bench. Rojas, you're going to get a chance to see him actually playing as a left winger, and Watson is getting the nod ahead of Reyes up front. I know what you're thinking. It's a little bit of a shame Rojas has got to play on the left wing. It'd be really nice to have him at fullback again. I thought that too, which is why I'm trying to buy another one. Alejandro Marin is a wonder kid left back with 5 tackling. My kind of left back. He's also a natural on the left wing, can play on the right wing, and he's either-footed, so he can play right back as well. But we're trying to bring him in from Atletico as signing number 1 with our newfound Spenzies. But it does seem slim pickings compared to previous Januaries we've had in this save so far. There is not so much about when I'm looking at my scout reports. I think we're kind of reaching that point, and every save gets to this point. Anyone who's been watching for a few years will have heard me say this many, many times. We are reaching that point where the players, so let's filter this according to players who are actually interested. The players that will improve us, like this guy, Ethan Butera, would love to bring him in, but it's a £33 million release clause, so Villa are going to get him. So the players that will actually improve us, we can't afford. The players that we can afford, so if we find someone who's actually got a price range that might work for us, the players we can afford aren't going to improve us. I mean, he might be a great signing for the future. He might be someone to look at, but I don't think he's coming straight into the team to improve us. And you do kind of hit that ceiling with a team of this size where it does become a little bit tricky for a few years until you can start convincing some of these other players to come and sign for us, or until we can start paying these kind of transfer fees for them. Neither of which are likely to happen until we're an established side in Europe. And I imagine I'll have moved on from Preston before we're an established European side. We shall see, though, I guess. But let's get the team submitted for today. No transfers in as yet, but it would be nice to pick up 3 points against Everton. If we do anything but win here, I suspect for the first time since like match day 6, we'll actually properly drop out of the Champions League qualification spots, which, as I say, we completely expect to do. We're not going to be upset when it happens. We are not aiming for the Champions League this season. We are, I guess, reluctantly aiming for a top 7 finish now. I still wouldn't be at all disappointed if we finished mid-table. But Frangolo there with the header from the first attack of the game. And once again, we are so dangerous from these attacking set pieces. We're not doing anything fancy with them. I know people will say, Kev, stop exploiting corners. I promise you I'm not. I'll show you again. I mean, that one wasn't even a corner. But it's so simple what we're doing. We're literally just aiming for the big player and putting the big players where we're aiming. That's it. And Frangolo, it's not like he's a set piece glitch code. He's 6'2". Yes, he's got 17 jumping reach. He's got 9 for heading as a centre back. Just scored a header. Attributes don't matter, boys and girls. Attributes don't matter. Very important that we all remember that at all times. Right, we're 1-0 up. Everton are in a bit of a relegation battle here as well. Obviously, they have been in and out of the Championship throughout this save. When they signed Woodman from us, we were both Championship teams. So they've managed. I think they got promoted the year before we did, and have certainly found the step up back into the Premier League a little bit harder than we've found it so far. But they would be. I imagine they'd look at a game like this and hope for a result. Donny van der Beek has just got his 10th goal of the season out of central midfield in a relegation-threatened Everton team. That's such a weird sentence. It just feels weird coming out of my mouth. But there he is. I'm assuming that's Donny van der Beek. It looks like he's actually playing up front. Has he got a brother who plays? I guess he's playing as an attacking midfielder, so it's not quite so weird. But yeah, D van der Beek. There you go. Who'd have thought? It's a corner o'clock, boys and girls. Ramsey's going to look to hit that in swinger. It looks like we're loading up on the front post. In fact, we're not. We've gone for the far. Frangolo this time can't keep his header down. There's that 9 heading in action for you, but he has been a big threat for us so far. If I could just tell the lads, maybe aim at de Klerk, the one who, you know, scores loads from these situations, that would probably make a little bit more sense, but there's no telling them. I mean, the instructions tell them, and that doesn't seem to make that much of a difference, which is very unfortunate. It looks like there's a proper slobber knocker going on at Old Trafford. Liverpool were 3-1 up. It's back to 3-2 now against Manchester United. But that's a Manchester United team that are in 3rd place, Liverpool top of the league. So that's very much title implications going on there. And Man United have now drawn it back to 3-3. I'm surprised to see that as a Saturday afternoon 3 o'clock kickoff. Maybe the stupid Saturday afternoon blackout doesn't exist this far into the future. Wouldn't that? Don't worry, this isn't a NordVPN advert this time. But goodness me, that blackout. Right, let's make a few changes to the attack and see if we can't find a winner from somewhere, because this is a little bit disappointing. I can handle going to Liverpool and losing, but coming to a relegation battling Everton and struggling is more of a problem. And we saw this in the last game off camera before this episode against Southampton, where we left it really late and were struggling in that game. And I do worry that we've had a couple of beatings recently. We've lost some of our more senior players who, yeah, they wanted to leave, but they were team leaders. The likes of Adam Eder was a team leader, even though he wasn't playing. And I do worry that maybe we might be hitting an iffy run of form. As I say that, Antas gets in, brings it down beautifully, but unfortunately doesn't put enough welly behind the shot, and it goes straight into the hands of Woodman in goal for Everton. I mean, we're well ahead on XG. We've been the better team in this match. It would just be nice if we could score another goal. That would be nice. De Klerk is tired, so Valente can come on for him. We're going to take off Juan as well. Is Jovic really the only option we've got? He's not. We're going to bring on Rafa, and we're going to drop Harvey White back into the defensive midfield, and Rafa is going to play in that more attacking role. Why am I hitting that button today? Demand more is what we want to do here. Come on, we need a goal here. We've let Tottenham go above us. Of all the embarrassing things to happen, to have Tottenham move above us in the league it's shameful. Right. Come on, push on. Look how far. I mean, Woodman's miles out of his goal there. Just close them down. Get the ball off them. Go and grab a goal. It's actually going to be Everton who score, isn't it? They've got him behind us here. Oh. 2 defeats was not part of the script for today's video. 2 defeats, and now we've got a weakened squad, and these incoming transfers that we don't have much time. It's going to be an important deadline day. I think that's becoming clear. Deadline day, which will happen between now and Monday's episode, deadline day is going to be absolutely crucial, because despite not removing any first-team regulars, it seems like we've lost a little bit of the essence, a little bit of the soul of this squad. We need to find a way to re-inject that. Senior player signing rather than a kid, maybe? I like the sound of that, but that's been a rough little run. Let's have a look at it. Yeah, see that? As Januaries go, that's not been the best one we've ever had. Hopefully we can turn things around in that game against Southampton and have a couple of new signings to wheel out that day as well. That's That's got to be the plan from here. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.